How you doing today? This is your holistic doctor, Dr. Ferrante Frazier, teaching the ways of natural hygiene. This is another show that we got here today called Natural as Elf. So I want you to get all your friends, family, share this show to them. Right now, you should go to your link and hit share and share it on your page, share it in your on your apps, share it to everybody. Call somebody up on the phone and say, "Hey, you need to go to all things relevant Black media right now, our Black media on YouTube, on Facebook, and go and watch this show called Natural as Elf." Dude is talking about how to heal yourself naturally. He's talking about how to do this without using medicine, herbs, and remedies. That what better way to know how to heal yourself, where you don't need a doctor anymore. You become your own doctor. I was telling somebody today that obedience is better than sacrificing. You don't have to sacrifice your organs and tissues, your health, all because we're not being taught the right way to live. We given all these palliative means. We got all this information in the world today. I mean, you're getting information from everywhere. You're getting information from these medical doctors, and a lot of people, everybody pretty much is listening to these medical doctors. And these medical doctors are sick. They're sick themselves, but we call them experts. They're dying from the same issues that they're so-called, you calling them experts for. Expert cancer doctors, expert, diabetes doctors, expert immunologists, expert this and expert that. And these same people, they so experted that they can't even stop their own issues. They suffer the same issues that they supposed to be experts in. And that's who we believe. We trust these people ignorantly, blindly, you know, and they tell us that we got to eat 10 pieces of bacon a day. Guess what? I feel for the hog and his belly. His belly he's not gonna have no belly. If the doctors of the day tell you that, eating 10 pieces of bacon a day is good for health, it's good for longevity and all type of stuff like that. The statistics show this stuff. We got somebody say something, not to mention they're mostly white men, no experience on the Black body. That says a lot in itself. Our lifestyles are different than what the common white people eat, or another race of people eat, or another nationality. So when we hear these statistics, we're hearing statistics about what their people who come to them, people who are in their environment, the sad diet, who eat the sad diet, who live the sad lifestyle. So yeah, people who live the sad lifestyle, yeah, their bodies break down at 25. But if you go to these other cultures who don't eat the way that the so-called, if we put it in the terms of how they used to talk back in the day, eating the white man food, drinking the white man drink, living the way the white man live. They say the white man lifestyle was the most toxic one. And as we, try to live that lifestyle, and I ain't talking about white as in a racist concept. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? You live like hogs. You're gonna be fat and stuff. That's nothing to say. Well, you're a racist. You know what I'm saying? You don't like hogs. No, it's just the hogs got a way. That's just their way of being. And in the white culture, that was their way of being. Just like the Black culture got a way of being as well. And we have our faults as well, and other natures, nationality and cultures, they have the issues as well. And that brings us to what natural hygiene been saying all along. It's the daily lifestyle habits and the environmental conditions that either make or break us. So if we're living amongst people who encourage healthy lifestyle, who encourage healthy eating, who encourage, rest and relaxation, who encourage drinking of clean, pure water and not polluting their water, and selling their poisons in the form of tonics and drinks and juices and soda slops. When we have an environment and a society that is, allowing, fresh air in their cities, and having people to come outside and get sunlight, and or promoting sunlight and exercise, promoting, emotional balance, not around here tantalizing and terrorizing, their citizens and stuff, having everybody either in jail, or stopping them on the side of the road, riding up behind them with the lights on, just tantalizing the people. But even with so much taxing, uh, you know, um, no help, so it's like, if we get a society that can promote health, then we'll be healthy. When you have nations and cultures that separate themselves from the modern, lifestyle, those people, they fare different. They don't suffer the same issues. You got, religious groups that don't live like, modern people. They don't look at television. They don't have these phones and different whatnots to uh, be a part of the world. They set themselves away from the world. They're not drinking the drinks of the world. They make their own drinks, or they only drink water. They live more primitive and less rioting. Their lifestyle is less demanding on their energy. Is less demanding on their body. It doesn't wear and tear their body down. But the 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 majority of mankind today in America, in Europe, in some of these more, you'll say, developed countries, they're living a haphazard lifestyle. And when I say haphazard, I mean they're living a lifestyle that will promote sickness, that will promote innervation being a fatigue, a drainage of your vitality. It drains your vitality because how demanding of energy those habits are, or the environment is so unclean that the body is in a constant state of trying to resist and tolerate the poisonous environment. When our environment is not congenial and not favorable for growth, then the body have to tolerate it, have to accommodate it. This accommodation takes huge amounts of energy, and it redirects the energy from us having, more energy to live and enjoy life and have the abundance of life that, that is our birthright. So, you know, we have to look at our lifestyle and create a lifestyle like a natural hygienic concept. And that's what we teach here on Natural is Elf, is the natural hygiene way of living, which will promote and put you in the environment for health. Health is the rule, provided you're not poisoning yourself, provided that your environment is not poisonous to you. There's no such thing as a cure, and I've been telling you that for the longest. I'm not a medical doctor. I guess it's the disclaimer. I'm not a medical doctor, so nothing in my teachings will be talking about the use of medication. I'm not a surgeon, so nothing in my teachings will be about surgery or its likes. I'm not a herbalist anymore, so nothing in my teachings will promote herbs or remedies, any type of supplements, anything. What my teachings will teach you is the primary ways of living that will not need those things, even though those things are toxic and usually are unnecessary, provided that the individual will learn a mode of living that will, keep them from having to broken down tissues and the failure in their cells and in their organism. So we talked about this a long time ago about how the human body, well, the cells, if you study a little bit in your science book when you were in school, or you can pick up a science book now, or you can even Google, the law of the cell, and learn about cell division and cell differentiation, all about the cell. And you'll notice that the cell, a single cell such as the amoeba cell, is said to possess eternal life, meaning that it can go on living forever, because it can repair itself and keep renewing itself and rejuvenating itself. And that's a single cell, a single cell. But the thing about it is, it will die or suspend animation if the environment is not congenial, if it's poison, if there's no nutrition, and if there's damage due to some violence. All right. So if that's the case, then that cell can either be destroyed or its activity suspended. All right. Meaning that when the condition become more favorable again, then the cell will go back into activity. Now, the human body is a conglomerate of cells that have banded together. It's a community of cells that have banded together for a common cause. So the cells, they group themselves together and they become organs. And these organs group themselves together and they become systems. And these systems together makes an organism, a whole bunch of organs and tissue. So that's what the organism is. So when we study science, we see that, all activity is done through everything is, if we break everything down, we go back to cells. And so everything is a cell. And if the cell is said to possess eternal life, then so is the organs, because they are a bunch of cells. And if the organs can possess eternal life, then so can the organism. Because the organism, the organs, the system, all are a bunch of cells. And these cells have everlasting life. They are said to go on living forever, provided that the environment is congenial. Meaning, again, I'm going to repeat it, that it's not starved. All right? It's not poison. And there's no violence. So it's just three things that can kill the cell: poison, starvation, and violence. All right. So the organism, like we say, is nothing but a bunch of cells. So what can kill the body? Poison, starvation, violence. All right. That's the only thing that can kill the organism, that can kill you. So when we're suffering and dying, it got to be one of the three things that's happening here. It got to be starvation going on, deficiencies in our eating and our drinking and stuff like that. Our body becomes so deficient that we starve ourselves. Our organs and tissues are so damaged from our lifestyle habits that they no longer can function enough to feed us, to break down tissues and stuff, to send our insulin to take sugar up into the cell, to send digestive juices to the stomach to break down proteins into amino acids and break down carbs into simple sugars. So when this happened, then we start having our deficiencies. We malnourish, even though we're eating a bunch of food, but we still suffer malnourishment. When we're eating these toxic foods, we're poisoning ourselves, and we have poisons from all angles of our life. We poison ourselves in our eating and our drinking and our cleaning and our washing, bathing. We poison ourselves in so many ways that our cells, I don't even know how they even can even live a week. You know, talking about everlasting. These bodies should be dead in a week at the rate that we're going, and we're just getting more toxic day by day. You know, even in our food. And matter of fact, that's really our topic today. We were going to talk about, you know, what's in our food. We're going to talk more about that because we got some leftover from last week where we were talking about, you know, mineral and vitamin deficient foods that we're putting in our body. So how can our body, you know, regrow and replenish itself? So we're suffering a lot because of our habits. We change our habits, we won't have that problem. But if we notice that a lot of people they want to take cures, they want to take supplements. You know, I talk to some people and they live to believe that, you know, some herb or some remedy healed them or is keeping them from their sicknesses. So what we want to do is give you a little understanding from the Power Charge book that teach on this concept. It said why food is better than supplements. You know, vitamins in nature are never found in pure crystalline states. They are always found in combination with proteins, metallose enzymes, and other substances in a complex of nutrients. So when you eat whole foods, this is why food is better than supplements. Because supplements are fragmented food. They're not real food. And all the foods that are from nature, it have so many different components to it, but all of them are working synergistically. They're working together to provide you with the nutrition you need for your body to function properly, for it to heal and repair and to restore itself and regenerate itself. So it's more ideal to eat a whole food than a fragmented food, because when you eat this vitamin A pill in a supplement form, you might not have other nutrients that are necessary to make that vitamin A pill function properly in your body. So, and that's how all vitamins and minerals is. You can't find no fruit in nature that just has one vitamin in there for you to take to nurture your body. So if Mother Nature don't you know, fragment her pills and potions and stuff like that, how do we think that, you know, us fragmenting our B12 B complexes and our magnesium, our potassium, we're taking them in large doses in fragmented forms. Nature put all those nutrients together in food for a very important reason. They are all needed to work together to protect us from disease. There is a biological difference between natural and synthetic sources of vitamins. Mostly, and if we notice when we go into where we're getting our vitamins and mineral knowledge from, what these supplements is from Google. You know, Google is our doctor. There's no such thing as going to see a medicine or herbal man anymore. Google has become the doctor of many people. And who's writing Google stuff? You know, anybody can throw up a website and basing the claim, say, hey, you know, I gave somebody some ground up dirt that I found in my backyard, and when they took it, it got rid of their diabetes. So over, you know, I keep putting that out there, and I have a couple of people that testify up their line, and you know, and even if their diabetes do disappear, it's not because of the dirt. It's in spite of the dirt. The dirt probably now is got so much toxins in there that the body can't deal with the diabetes and the dirt. The body got to choose its battle. You got to either fight over here or cleanse over here or deal with the situation over here. They don't have limitless energy to correct all the health issues in the body or repair the whole building at one time. You know, it got to send some workers into the bathroom and then wait and then bring them back into the bedroom. You know, it's just the house ain't put up all at one time. The plumber can't be in the the house while they're laying the foundation. You know, the electrician can't be there while the foundation is being laid. You know, a lot of stuff just cannot happen if at the same time in the human body. So when you put poisons in your body, the body have to use that energy to defend itself. It ain't got time to be trying to fix no longer no tissue or no brain, no cells or anything like that. It have to pull all its energy together, all its resources together to deal with this toxin that you just ingested. Any type of pill, any type of potion, any type of treatment, any remedy, any cure is poisonous. And the body must deal with it. If it's not a food, it's a poison. If it's not something that you take as a meal, a food, a wholesome food at that, it's poison. So all remedies, all pills, all potions and stuff like that seek to cure and all type of thing, those are poisons. And when the body is taking them in, the body must counteract that poison, neutralize it, and then eliminate it. All that takes energy. So yeah, if you were sneezing to get out some waste out of your nose, the body gonna say, well, I'm gonna put that on the back burner, or I'm not gonna deal with that right now, because I got to deal with this new threat that just came into the body. You take a diarrhea pill, or you take a laxative because you're constipated. The body is conserving energy. But if you put something in there that's going to destroy your colon and destroy your digestive tract, then the body is going to automatically wash out all that stuff. So if it's washing out all that poison, it's going to wash out whatever was in your digestive tract. So you get this diarrhea. So you go. That's what I'm telling you. This stuff causes disease. All pills and potions produce a disease. That's how they work. When you have diarrhea, you take a laxative to constipate. I mean, you take something to cause constipation in yourself. If you have constipation, then you take something to produce a laxative. Why is a diarrhea a disease if was eating bad and you start having diarrhea, and or you going through flu-like symptoms and have diarrhea? Then diarrhea is seen as a disease. But when the medical man give you pills and potions, or the herbal man give you tonics and different purgings to purge out your bowels and stuff like that, in the form of a diarrhea, it's a cure. Diarrhea is a disease and one issue. When the body does it on its own to purge toxins out of the body, it's seen as a disease. But when the medical man and the herbal man produces it to get waste out of your body, it's seen as a cure. Man, that's not right. That's not fair with on the human body. The human body is always saw as doing something wrong. Anytime it's trying to do something, the body shouldn't be doing that. Oh, the body shouldn't be doing that. But when man can produce these sicknesses and do these things to the body, it's good science. It's good medicine. It's good remedies and cures and stuff like that. It's not fair to the human body that the human body is getting a bad rep. Now, there's two big differences between organic minerals found in living plants and inorganic found in rocks. This is what we were talking about the other day. When you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, the enzymes or the minerals that are in that living food is organic, meaning that it's living, it's active, it's charged. But inorganic minerals found in rocks is dead material, lifeless, inert. So dead material can't charge a living body, but living material is what will keep life in a living body. Deficiencies have arose from poor diet, poor food. Multi-supplements always omit nutrients that are known to be necessary. And even there are minerals, enzymes, and vitamins that we don't even know about yet. You know, it's a lot that we just learned in the last couple of years that we found out about. And every day, you know, scientists are coming out with new enzymes and coenzymes and vitamins and, you know, completins and different things like that. So, and they work together. And if you're fragmenting your supplementation, then you could be doing a lot of damage. You can be creating the deficiencies that result from fragmentation. Let me give you an example. If vitamins have been sitting around at room temperature for a while since you know, manufacture, they can decompose and, you know, into unusable forms. For example, when vitamin C oxidizes, it turns into dehydro C, which is useless to the body. This is even a problem with mineral and multi supplements. You know, so here it is. We're taking these vitamins and minerals that have been sitting. Well, first of all, we don't know how long they've been boxed up and in these pill bottles from the manufacturer, and then they sit on the counter and shelves of our local, you know, herb stores, and even Kroger's and Publix and all these grocery stores are now implementing the herbs and remedies and stuff. They saw money in it, big business, you know. And like I was saying, these things, the vitamins and minerals that's in those things, they break down. They can't be stored properly. You know, they oxidize and become something totally different that's actually useless or toxic to the human body. So a lot of stuff that we're taking has already been, you know, um, turned into unusable material. But look how who we're getting our information from. Remember I told you Google, or we're getting it from the local health food store. And who is usually there behind the counter? Some teenage college student or what have you not. And he's only telling you, or she's only telling you by y'all looking up in a book, A to Z, herb remedy, or some other book. Or y'all Google what herb is good for such and such. And it'll tell you about all the benefits and stuff like that. And then you'll go, who knows if this stuff is right or not. But you'll go and buy it. They'll have big bottles for you, little bottles for you. And you buy it. It's conveniently priced at $98 a bottle. You take this stuff, all right? But you're getting the information from your you know, you're being prescribed these different stuff from the teenager, from the college student that actually works there. No qualified herbologist is helping you in these herb stores or anything like that. The people who are passing out remedies to you, even these so-called remedies out here today, and I hate to say this one, but the sea moss. These people who are offering these teas and conjunctures and tinctures and all type of stuff to you, these people didn't go to school for science and toxicology or any of that stuff. You know, they ain't even went to school to be a shaman priest. You know, but you know, get a couple of mixtures and recipes off of Google or out of some little remedy book, and voila, they around here, you know, then became the witches of the wicked west. And they putting a pot of stew together, and they're passing out their stuff to you, telling you that you're going to get whole. But let's look at how wild food is deficient. A lot of our food is deficient because of how it's being grown now. It's being grown in soils that are eroded, that's been depleted with a bunch of chemical concoctions, you know, a bunch of chemical fertilizers, a bunch of sprays, modification, GMO. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what GMO really mean, but it's genetically modified organism. So, and that can mean a lot of stuff as well. But usually, when it's coming from the food industry, that's something you definitely want to stay away from, because you're eating stuff that has been genetically modified, meaning that they done been splicing into genotherapy. So the food that you're eating is not wholesome, natural food anymore. The scientist, the man, has done manipulated that food, and you want to stay away from all manipulation of mankind. He's manufactured that food. But and a lot, even with our organic growers and stuff like that, a lot of them are not properly, building up their soil, because once you grow food out of these fields, if you're not building that soil back up properly, um, your food is still going to be void of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. Now, we have it where the FDA allow for certain amount of food. Well, let's say a certain amount of bugs to be in your food. Ain't that something? I think we talked a little bit about this once before when we was talking about um, chocolate, how they allow a certain amount of bugs to be in chocolate, a certain amount of bugs to be in our cereals, um, certain bugs to be in our canned foods, maggots, flies, um, all kind of pesticides. It's a certain amount is allowed. Rat hair, rat drippings, all those things are allowed in our food, in all our process and manufacturing food. If it comes from a manufacturing plant, it has been it can be, it's contaminated. It's not, could be, it's contaminated. Believe you me, it's contaminated. The FDA approves of certain amounts of contamination to everything that comes out of the manufacturing plant. Everything. So your smoked sausages are contaminated. But your honey buns, yeah, it puts me in the mind of this restaurant that was in our area. It made good news when they had a rat running across, a big old rat running in the restaurant, a good known restaurant, and it had a rat just running around in there. Now the thing about it is, they didn't stop people from going there though. Said the FDA needs to be disbanded and put back together again. Yeah, the FDA. Well, I don't really think we need the FDA. To tell you the truth, they don't need to be put back together. They don't need to be there. Period. But this also going to be where mankind need to start back growing their own food, and we won't even need to, have anybody to go out and see what type of food that the people are giving us. We grow our own food. I was talking to a guy the other day, and we were talking about eating and how we didn't eat that much when we were young. He was like, "Man, my parents them was doing a bunch of cooking at the house, but me and my friends, we barely ever ate at the house. We ate pears, peaches, plums, the blackberries that used to grow around the ditches and stuff like that. The dates on the trees that were growing around all around the community. Now you don't see any fruit trees growing. You can't unless you're into somebody's backyard who just plant them a grapefruit tree or an orange tree. But you don't see all the fruit trees that been around town. That's all we ate. And we felt great. We didn't suffer no diseases. We were slim. We had plenty of energy. These kids today, they sit in the house and they eat Pop Tarts. They eat, popcorn. They eat oodles and oodles of noodles. They are only on toxic, dry, manufactured, processed, refined foods. And all these foods have been contaminated. The peach tree ain't been contaminated. The plum tree ain't been contaminated. The apple trees, the grapefruit trees, the pomegranate trees, all these trees that used to be available to us in our environment. Now, I don't know where you're from, but here in Savannah, Georgia, we used to have a bunch of fruit trees all over the place. Now we got trees in the city, but not fruit trees. We got flowering trees and shade trees. You know, that's what's more important. We got to look beautiful around here. We ain't worrying about nobody hunger. Because we can kill hunger. It can't be no such thing as hunger if there's fruit trees and fruits falling all over everywhere in the city. How can it be? How can we have starvation in a city where apples are falling all down? Say Abercorn. You got plum trees all down the Ren. You just got all downtown. You got apple trees, orange trees, and stuff like that. How can hunger present itself to? Because they got plenty of trees. They putting up trees left and right, but these trees are useless. The ones they're putting up, they bear no fruit. Why are we planting trees that bear no fruit, that no one can eat from? It's just there. It's just there. Our homes, our lawns should be food. What we growing roses and all these other so-called bushes and plants that we can't eat. We can't eat this stuff. But let's look at what we do know about pesticides. There are three main types: insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Insecticides kill insects, herbicides kill weeds, and fungicides kill fungi that cause plant diseases. Now, fungi? You talking about mushrooms? We love ourselves some fungi. But fungi is what kills plants and cause diseases to them. And we love that fungus that grows on that stuff. Now, according to this research, of the total pounds of pesticides that are used every year, nearly 60% are known to cause tumors in laboratory animals. Now, the pesticides, the herbicides, and the fungicides that they use in our food, 60% of what they're using to grow our food is known to cause tumor growth in laboratory animals. Because see, they use these herbicides in laboratory experiments first. They grow food and they feed the animals the food grown with these herbicides and insecticides and these fungicides. And they see what happens to these animals. And mostly all the animals, when they use this stuff, develop tumors growth. Tumors. They have big abscesses and tumors and polyps and cysts and stuff growing off their body from the exposure. You got people who work on farms suffer these same things from being out there spraying this stuff. They got a recall on the, or not really a recall because they still selling the stuff. It's still out there for sale. But they're saying that if you or a loved one suffer from, from using one of those Monsanto products, um, like the one that killed the weeds and stuff like that. One of them things. But they got a big class action lawsuit out about that. So, but it's still on the market. You can still buy it. I'm pretty sure that Johnson and Johnson thing with the older powder, you can still buy powder, baby powder. But they said it was known to cause cancer and tumors and stuff like that. So the stuff that the FDA is approving, stuff that they done approve and say it was safe, always turn out to be toxic. And now no one do anything to the FDA, all those people who brought that false information, those scientists who deem everything was healthy, the peer study groups and all these so-called experts that say, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this stuff. But then years later, we find out that we got big knots growing off our necks, and we're around here with all these other toxic growth that we're suffering from. And make sure I keep some power going here, or I won't be able to talk to y'all. But even though we're about to finish up here in a minute, but all this is happening because what's in our food? We got a bunch of poisons in our food, and we have to. First of all, we don't have anything healthy in our food, and what we do have is a bunch of poison, and that's not going to help us. The EPA itself considers a substantial portion of all pesticides to be capable of causing tumors, yet it allows them to be used anyway. The EPA now, because the EPA continues in testing programs. One will hope that many of those pesticides will be banned or at least set at a lower tolerance. However, it is worth nothing that the EPA has not revoked a single tolerance when new information demonstrates that a pesticide has tumor-forming potential and concentrates in processed food. In addition, the re-registration of older pesticides is an extremely time-consuming process that could take decades. As of 1991, only 2 of the 822 older pesticide ingredients in use had been re-registered under current standards. Now, that's crazy. Most pesticides are dangerous. Have no doubts about it. With that in mind, how can the EPA allow their use at all? Our modern system of agriculture is firmly entrenched in the use of pesticides. $5 billion worth of agricultural chemicals are sold in the United States each year. So that's letting you know that we're poisoning ourselves with so much herbicides and insecticides and stuff. All that stuff is being sold right there at your local Home Depot, at your local Lowe's, at your whatever the other little hardware stores, your Ace, all those little hardware stores, and a bunch of little mom and pop shops as well. But they're selling this stuff that's being sprayed on your food, and you uptake this stuff into your body. Even the animals. That's why a lot of the animals getting sick. That you think you're safe that you eat meat. Your meat is eating a bunch of foods that have been sprayed with herbicides and insecticides too. They got it saturating in their muscle meats, in their organs and tissues that you turn into whatnot, sausages and and you turn into steaks and hamburgers and stuff and hot dogs. But all that stuff is filled with poison. In other words, let's look at this. The EPA established tolerance to cover all expected residues on food. How are tolerance determined? Does the EPA have sophisticated laboratories where they do testing? No. The makers of the pesticide supply the data needed for its registration. So you come up saying that you got a new product and you say your product is safe because you did the testing. Here go the results. So you come with your product and you come with the testing, and that's how you get registered and get your stuff on the market. Your stuff can be totally poisonous. Your data can be, wrong all day long, fabricated. And here it is that most that's what's really happening. And then later, when people start dying, suffering, getting cancer and tumors and stuff, and they get traced back to your product, then they send it to other laboratories and then find out that yes, this has proponents in there that is producing tumors and all type of other toxic diseases. And then they just may take you off, or they might tell you to change certain ingredients in there, or bring the tolerance down a little bit. Don't produce cancer in them. Maybe produce some diseases, make them blind or something, but don't just have them where they dying straight out. So, in other words, the EPA depends upon the chemical industry to run their own tests on residues in food and to do cancer studies on rats or mice. It's kind of like asking the fox to guard the chicken coop, in other words. From the studies presented to it by the chemical industry, the EPA determines an acceptable rate of cancer that will likely result from the presence of pesticides in food. So they allow even a rate of cancer. If a poison is like, if only 100 people is dying in our city from Popeye's chicken sandwiches, but 1,000 of people is eating it, they're gonna say, well, we fed thousands of people. If 100 people died from eating the chicken, you know, is it really that bad? Why not? When we can have chicken that, well, I don't want you to eat no chicken now. Let's go to fresh fruits and vegetables. But you can have some chicken that doesn't have pesticides on it, and nobody have to die. Why everybody gotta die? Why everybody gotta die? Nobody has to die. But the rest is a movie that came on back in the days, and I'm gonna start closing out here. But the main thing is that we're allowing a bunch of, it's a big cover up. And the way that it's not that I don't think the FDA is just totally bad itself. It probably, or the EPA. It's just that money, how they say, kind of rule the world. And if you got people who running, see, the EPA is nothing in itself, but the men and women who work at that agency, the FDA is nothing in itself, but the men and women who work at that agency, if they're not in a high state of being, if they easily taken by money, bribes and stuff like that, if they have no intelligence, no heart or wisdom to know that they're killing huge amounts of people, and don't know how to properly solve issues in a way that no one has to die, and the world can still create huge amounts of food with a good thinking mind. If they can put people out there in outer space and build space stations and satellites and all types of stuff out there, spend billions and trillions of dollars, you mean to tell me we can't come up with a better food supply and find better ways to? We can have hydroponic growing in a whole state with the amount of money that they sending out of space. The money that they're wasting and building underground, under ocean places where they can hide at and all type of stuff. And all this war pieces and war materials that they're wasting money on. We can grow a whole state of fruit trees and vegetables and stuff like that, planting them and having people to work them, and still have some leftover money. Probably wouldn't even take half the money that we spend in one day on the fuel that it takes to fuel the army and all their test flying. I'm telling you, we spend money, a lot of money, in unnecessary avenues. And some people say, well, it's not unnecessary. We got to be able to defend ourselves. Yeah. A bunch of dead people, hungry, deficient, sick, and busted up. Yeah. We're going to be able to defend ourselves. Everybody around here with tumors grow from all this poison. This is new research now. It ain't been around forever. So that's why we're seeing more instances of cancer and tumors growth and all type of other new, chronic diseases, because, it's more poisons in our food now. I mean, we really got some poisons in our food, and our food is so deficient. So yes, if you're eating a poison food and a deficient food, you're creating violence to your body. And if you remember, the cell is destroyed from three things: starvation, which is malnutrition, violence, and what? Poisoning. So we're getting poisoning from the pesticides, herbicides, and all the remedies and all type of other preservatives and additives they put into the food, all that stuff, all the dyes and colors and all that type of stuff. So all that's poisoning going into our organism. We're not eating fresh fruits and vegetables, and the fresh fruits and vegetables that we are eating is void of vitamins and minerals. And we're taking supplements to supplement our bad eating and our bad lifestyle. And those supplements are inorganic rock material, which is also poisonous and has no way of nurturing our body. So we've poisoned ourselves, and we're malnourishing ourselves, starving ourselves. And by doing so, it's creating a bunch of violence in our body. So we're doing the trinity of damage to our organs and tissues. It takes for us to wake up. And that's what we're going to be teaching you here at Savannah Natural Health. We always been teaching that. But Natural as Health is going to be teaching you the natural as F way to heal your body of issues and get a better understanding and knowledge about how the human body works. Sometimes I try to make this as, interesting as possible, because this is a subject that it's not really too interesting, and pulling people off their habits and their lifestyle. So, we got to talk about this today. I gotta let go of my bacon. Do I really have to? Do I really got to give up my coffee? Do I really got to give up my tea? Oh my God, what I'm saying? How is we gonna be able to do this if we can't spray on our food? Look how much food we throw away. We don't need to even grow all that food. If you know how much food you go in the back of Publix, Food Lion, Walmart and stuff, you see all this vegetable stuff that's rotten and decaying because they have so much surplus. I know at one warehouse where I used to be at, they were throwing away so much food because the food could not go through fast enough to feed everybody. They could not get rid of it fast enough, so the food was breaking down. They sold a lot, but the amount that they had coming in was so much that they had so much surpluses. And it's a surplus of food. It's just that they got it so expensive for people to buy it, and they're not giving it to the people properly. So I want to tell you, try to find a way to grow your own food. And if not that, find you somebody who is growing their own food in your environment. And if not that, try to go organic as much as possible. And if not that, at least try wholesome fresh fruits and vegetables. I really don't want you to go past that. So best of health and happiness. And we'll see you next week for another show of Natural as Health. Hey, I love you, and I thank y'all for coming and sharing this moment with me in space. And I want to see y'all next week and share this with other people as well. So best of health. And if I didn't tell you, I love you. Talk to you later.